Hi, Jorge.
Good. Chavez, how are you?
Travis, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, just I've been busy. I have doing all this other stuff myself. I'm working at the VA. So
Oh,
it gives me a little bit busier than I want to be, but almost there. So now it's Shabbos. It's good.
yes, yes.
Last night I made a mistake. I didn't realize that you were starting the Gemara so early.
Oh, Friday.
Mm. Last night.
Last
I wanted to come
night.
on at 8 when you started at 7:30.
But I do send
Yeah,
message.
you're perfect. It's not you that's the problem. It's me. I need to
Oh,
pay
okay.
attention.
Okay.
It's me. It's me.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Ernie.
Hi, George.
Somebody sends you regards.
Who's that?
Norman Nadell.
And where did you see Norman Nadell?
I told you I have made it my passion now to make every effort to get together with all of us guys.
I have to see Norman. We used to be such good friends. He
Then
came over to my house. I came over
tell
to
you
his house.
what, we will do the following. Next time we will get together, and we're planning to get together with the wives. We'll all do it together.
Okay, now I want to go out with you with we want to take you out to Shiloh one of these nights.
We'll set it up. We'll do something.
Okay, and Norman I know is a lawyer, lives in Santa Monica. I mean, I know that. You know what? You know, my wife works with his son. His son is a lawyer.
Well,
who
now
does workers' comp.
he's like me. I don't know where you are, but I mean, I'm retired from the clinical practice
Right.
in the Valley, but I teach full time.
Where are you teaching?
Half time. I mean, half time. I shouldn't say
Where?
full time.
Where?
UCLA.
No, but where?
I run
Where?
the VA. I run
Which
the
VA?
renal.
Sepulveda?
I do both, Sepulveda and Wadsworth. I'm at the Wadsworth a lot of time.
Nice. Well, I ran urology there when I was a resident at Wadsworth and Sepulveda.
Yeah, it's great.
Gabe Danovich, he's gone.
No, he's still there.
So Gabe
I think
Danovich.
I think they're going to have to, like the popes, they bury them in the. That's.
And how about
Dick
Dick Ettinger?
Ettinger is in the pediatric division. He's gone. He's retired.
I was good friends with both of them.
I really like them. I mean, you know what? I was very blessed. I mean, when we were there, the renal department was excellent.
Oh
stellar.
yeah,
I mean, it was one of the best in the U.S., maybe the world.
Absolutely, they were.
Yeah, then.
And they worked with us on the transplant cases.
Yes. Were you much in?
We did all the I did 110 transplants as chief resident.
Wow.
I never did them in practice because none of our hospitals had a transplant program.
You know what? To do transplants in private practice, you need an institution that's totally committed to it.
The only
I was we were at Tarzana and so a couple of these hospitals, and they were always coming up to me and said, "We should have a renal transplant. We could do this." I said, "You don't do that like changing shoes." I said, "You need an infectious disease program that's geared. You need a lab that's geared to."
George, Cedars used to do maybe 10 or 20 a year. St. Vincent's did 100, 150 a year. Those were the two private hospitals that did transplants.
Cedars is big now. Cedars is doing much
Cedars
more.
got much bigger, I know. Okay, so we're on Yud Aleph, 11. We'll talk some more. Maybe next week, George will set it up.
We'll do it.
Yud Aleph. Yeah, but the next time you're on the phone with Norman, you should patch me in. We'll talk about it.
No problem.
24, no?
11.
Oh.
Yud Aleph, Amud Aleph.
Yeah. I just did it in Spanish, so let's see if it sounds the same.
Okay. Mazgulo sakos. They poured a cup of wine for a person. The Omar, Hareni Nozer Mimenu. I'm going to be a Nazir from it. So Harezeh Nazir, even though he didn't take, remember, Nazirus isn't just abstention from wine. It's not taking a haircut. It's not going to a funeral, not being metame to a mace. So he only accepted partial Nazirus, but there is no partial acceptance. Once you accept part of it, you become a full Nazir. That's what the Mishnah seems to be saying. Then it tells us a story. There was a woman who was drunk. They still poured her another cup. Now, I'm going to abstain from it. She didn't really mean to become a Nazir. She wanted to say, I'm not going to drink from this cup. So the Gemara says, Maisa Listor. What do you mean? You start off by giving me a rule, and then you tell me a story that's the complete opposite of the rule. The Mishnah started by saying, if you say, Areni Nazir Mimenu, you're a Nazir. And then you give me an example of a case, and it says she's not a Nazir. Amrit Reisha Reis a Nazir. You start off by saying that he becomes a Nazir. Bahadur Tani, then you gave me the story, Maisa Bishachas. Alma Bahayuda Azir, meaning she's only restricting that cup of wine. But Hayena Achrina, but other wine, Shari, she's not a full Nazir. So what kind of deal's going on here? So the Chasuri Mechsera. So the Gemara tells us that there's some words missing in this Mishnah. We have to make an emendation. We have to put some words in that weren't there. V'hachi ktani. This is I have to read the Mishnah. Excuse me. They pour a cup of wine. He says, no, I'm going to be a Nazir from it. I raise a Nazir. So even though he only prohibited himself from one of the prohibitions, he becomes a full Nazir. However, the imshikorhu, if he's drunk, and then they still try to give him another cup, he does not become a Nazir. My time, huh? He really, what he's trying to say was, I don't want any more wine today. And this cup of wine is usher to me. So let him say that. He's concerned that they're going to keep on bringing him wine and they're going to torture him. So I'm going to say something that's going to keep them away. Already Nazir. I mean, everybody knows that a Nazir doesn't drink wine. And then the Mishnah tells us, the Mishnah concludes by telling me a story where that actually happened. Mishnah. Hareni Nazir al Manas I'm going to be a Nazir, but I want to continue to drink wine. I want to continue going to funerals. So again, I raise a Nazir because there is no such a thing as taking partial Nazirus. And V'asr B'kulan, he's prohibited from all of them. Now, what if he says, Yodei ani sheyesh Nazirus? I know the concept of Nazirus. Aval eini yodei shanazir osir b'yayin. But I didn't know that a Nazir is prohibited from wine. So Hareze Osir, he remains a Nazir. And he's prohibited for everything, including wine. But Rab Shimon matir. According to Rab Shimon, the person has to accept all aspects of Nazirus clearly. Third case. Yodei anisha Nazir osir b'yayin. I know that a Nazir can't drink wine. Aval sover hayisi. But I was under the impression that the Chachamim would undo my neder because they know I can't live without wine. Oh, I'm a grave digger in my job. So I knew that they would undo my neder because I can't make a living otherwise. So in that case, hareze mutter. The Rab Shimon oiser. Now, this seems to be contradictory. This seems to be conflicting what we said initially, and the Gemara will deal with that.
So does he have to be matter neder, or automatically he's not a nazir? That according to Bad Yomer says.
According to the
Hareza
Chachamim,
mutter.
hareze mutter, there is no neder.
Okay.
And Rab Shimon says he is a nazir. So first, when Rab Shimon said matir, when it said, I didn't know that a nazir is asr b'yayin, Rab Shimon said he was matir. But Mozgulo Asakos, the initial Mishnah, or the initial already knows Ramanashe Shos Yad Tam Lamesim, how come Rab Shimon doesn't lifting Nami Rab Shimon Bereish? Rav Yeshua ben Levi Cholukai Rab Shimon operation. In fact, Rab Shimon also said it was mutter in the first part, where it says already knows Ramanashe Shos Yad Tam Lamesim. Rab Shimon says since he didn't accept all the aspects, he does not become a nun. Ravina Amabaration Loy Ravina disagrees with Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Ravina says no. Rab Shimon does not argue. He thinks there he's a nazir. My timer. Listen, it's written in the Torah that a nazir is prohibited from wine. You can't take a tanai against what's written in the Torah. It's no bottle. So the tanai does not stand, and he becomes a nazir. How does Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi respond to that? Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Amar Lacha, Hai al Menas. It's not really a tanai, kechutz dami. He meant, I accept Nazirus except for this thing, but not with a tanai. Haya kavosid Ravina Omar Hareni Nazir Amanashe Shosi Yad Mitam Lamesim Hareze Nazir Vasser Bekulan Mipnei Shu Masal Masha Kos B'Torah. To no bottle. That's like Rabin. Then the Mishnah said, but I figured the Chachamim would be matir for me. Now, and here, Rab Shimon said it's not a neder. Afraid the Gemara, Vomit Reisha also Rab Shimon matir. How come Rab Shimon is not matir here? Oh, Emanami Areza also Rab Shimon Matir. The Gemara's first approach is to switch it, and it's the same like the Seifa. The Chachamim say it is a neder, and Rab Shimon says it's not. The other answer is that the last case is different. Reisha could go into Nazir Mechad. The Reisha is a case where he took a prohibition only against one. The Chachamim learn that even if you prohibit yourself from one of the prohibited items, you become a full Nazir. And Rab Shimon Rab Shimon says you're not a Nazir until you specifically prohibit yourself from each item. Mutter. Why is the Seifa different? Seifa, the Nadir Mekula v'Ichel Mechada. He prohibited himself from all of them, but he kept an opening regarding one of them, like saying, yeah, but I thought that the Chachamim would undo it for me because I'm a grave digger, or because I can't live without wine. The Rabbanan Nazir, since the Chachamim hold that even if you prohibit yourself from one of the items, you're a Nazir here also. He also ishtari. If you undo one of the aspects, the whole neder goes away. Rab Shimon said, in order to become a Nazir, you have to prohibit yourself from each item. So when you ask a she'ela from a chacham, you have to ask a she'ela from each one of the items. If you want to give you a third answer, they're arguing regarding an oinus, and something that is beyond his beyond the circumstances. It's an accident. Ubepluktu d'shmo Ravasi. This not. Arba nedarim yitir chacham. There are 4 types of nedarim that the Chachamim said are completely permitted. Number 1, nidrei zruzin. For example, I take my friend, I sell something to my friend, and I say, I'm thinking that I'm never going to use it. Pay me a reduced price. But really, he never had an intent to make such a net. Nidrei havoy is I'm going to prohibit something if you jump over the moon. It's not something that can happen. It's a nidrei havoy. Here, nidrei shgagois, that he made a neder because of a certain reason, and it turns out that the reason was incorrect. He made a mistake in the fact. Nidrei oinsin, he can't fulfill it because of a certain act. The bridge fell down, he couldn't travel. Even though the Chachamim were matir such a neder, you've got to go to a Chacham to ask a she'ela. And if you don't, it's not mutter. That's why, and ki amrita kamei Shmuel, Amarli tonik toni yitir Chachamim, v'atam tzrich she'ela Chachamim. How can you say that the Chachamim were matir, and then you turn around and say that they need to go and ask a shayla? Because Rabbanan Sari Kishmuel, that even though the neder goes away by itself, here it goes away by itself, even if they didn't ask a chacham. But Rav Shimon held, like Rav Asi, that it's not bottled by itself. You got to go and ask from a chacham.
Why do we say by getting, if he says, if I don't come back by a certain time, the get's a good get and the bridge broke down, and yet we see that she gets a good get. Why don't we say the same thing too? It's an accident. He never had in mind that it should take place. I mean, so why do we say by Nezirus?
Ein oinus begitten.
That's the call, yeah.
And sometimes there's oinus, and sometimes oinus is not taken into account. And a chanami, you're correct. If he says, I'll be back in 30 days, otherwise the get will be chal. And he comes back and the bridge is broken, he's in his hands, doesn't make a difference. The get is chal because he didn't come back.
So
We don't take into account oinus.
You know, it's yeah. So here we say by get, we say onus by
No, oinus is not an excuse to invalidate the get.
So you need a
He said, there's a get, and it'll be chal if I don't come back within.
But by Nezirus
I
it
come
is.
back within 30 days. But by Nezirus, this Nezirus oinsin,
Yeah.
then technically it's not a neder, but he has to go to a chacham to go undo it.
Mm.
We're gonna wait. We'll see exactly what neder oinsin are when we learn the sugya. Hareini nazir, v'alayla galeach nazir, and I'm gonna shave a nazir, which means I'm gonna pay for his korbanos when the Nezirus is over. Me too. So imayu pichin megachin zed. They don't have to. They could take care of each other, rather than another nazir. Imlav megachin is imachemim. They have to become a nazir, and they have to pay for another nazir's korban. Iboilahu shoma chaver v'omar va'ani. He doesn't say va'ani v'alai. Ma do we say va'ani akula dibur mashma? Hareini nazir ve'alai, and that means he wants to do both. Maybe only on half, the part of the nazir, maybe not on the part about paying for the other nazir's korbanos. And if you're going to tell me that the va'ani is only on half the dibur, is it a reisha or a seifa? Is it only on the hareini nazir part? Or is it on the alayla galech nazir part? On which part is it? Torshma, va'ani, the alayla galech nazir. If they were smart, they would take care of each other. Midiko Omar va'ani ve'alai. Shma mino the va'ani is a pagad dibura. The Vani only takes care of half of it. Amri in apagidi mash. But we still don't know miu aresha or seifa. So mina from itself we'll learn it. Midiko Amar va'alayla galeach shmamina vani is al tchilas tibur mash. But it's on the part where we said already nazir. That's no raya. Vani is akula dibur. May vani goes along both issues, the hareni nazir and the va'alayla galeach nazir. The imishum v'alai, Micah Omar, and why did he have to say v'alai again? V'alai b'hamilsa, because if the ilote mahachi diktari sefer re'alai legalei chatzi nazir. In the next Mishnah, we're going to learn. Let's say he says, "I'm going to take the responsibility half of a nazir." V'shama v'chavir v'amar v'ani alai legalei chatzi nazir. Hasami ketartimi. There's no two things that there's a half of it. Elamai kamer alai. What is meant alai there? Baha milsa, only by the Nazirus. Hachanami ki kamar alai, Baha milsa, it's only by the Nazirus. Armalei Rava Hachiach, there's no comparison. Iyamrit Bishma Reisha Tzricha, Seifalo Tzricha. If the Reisha is something that was necessary, and the Seif is not necessary, Tani Sefer the Lo Tzricha Mishum Reisha Tzricha. Sometimes a Tana will write a Sefer that's not needed because of a Reisha that's needed. But if both are not needed, why would I need both? So it can't be the explanation about the alai. And the diuk is a good diuk. And when we said the alai only refers to hareni nazir, it's only on the first part. It's a pagidibur and it's on the reisha. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn at